Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. Now in this video we're going to be going over exactly what you need to know for Kokomi, as well as the things you definitely need to look out for after you pull her, if you decide to even pull for her to begin with. Now she is definitely going to be one of those characters that a lot of people are skipping for the right reasons, but at the same time there is a portion of people who are wanting to go in and pick up this character. Now this video, I don't want to dissuade anybody or persuade anyone from either pulling or not pulling for Kokomi. It's just that she now sits in a very tricky spot, and I want to go in and dissect some of the pros and cons regarding this unit as to help everybody, both those who are skipping and those who are pulling, to get a better and clearer picture of her potential and her problems. Alright, with all that said, let's get right into the video. Now the healing position is held at a higher standard compared to the DPS position. Everybody should know this, similar to the support position. When there are characters setting the bar so high, it's difficult to reason using something else, right? So unlike the support position though, where all the best options are 5 stars, the healing position currently we have the one and only Bennett, whom is actually a 4-star, which is something that boggles the mind, right? For a healer such as Bennett to be so easily accessible nowadays, it begs the question, do we even need another healer? Well, apart from the fact that Abyss requires 2 teams, but even then we have Diona, another 4-star unit, which is top tier in the healing category. Even still, Chi-Chi's role in the game is best suited for 2 things, being cute and ruining your pity. Very few people turn to Chi-Chi though as a healing option, so with that said, how is Kokomi's fate going to be any different? Let's find out. First and foremost, when we look at a character, we have to ask, what is their role? Now, what is Kokomi designed to do? Can she fill more than 2 roles? Now currently in the healing position, it's almost a given that top tier healers can do more than just healing, because there are strict criteria for what makes a good healer. Now let's just look at Bennett and Diona as 2 good examples. They both fulfill more than 1 role in the healer position, and they take up very minimal on-field time, because currently there is just too many ways to get damage and there are too many good options. Support characters such as Kazuha are starting to demand more and more field time to get you more done. So there is less time actually we can afford to be giving to a healer when they are on field. That's what makes Bennett good, and that's what makes Diona also stay in the top tier category. Something else we need to be looking out for is whether there will be future changes to the healing role and potential overheal mechanics. That's a big question mark. We're getting into some copium territory here regarding healers, but so far we have yet to see anyone except Zhongli make a comeback after they are added to the game, and that was with a huge geo resonance change along with the character change themselves. Now we're going to be talking about the resonance, the hydro resonance, a little later in the video, because that is hugely impacting how successful Kokomi can become within the game. The healers are not sitting in a good spot, and there is nothing pointing to this change anytime soon, especially with how powerful shielders are. The question is always, why should I heal if I never take the damage to begin with? Now this is an age-old argument that has been presented to the community since back in patch 1.1. So characters such as Chi-Chi has mechanics which require her to stay on field to heal, as well as off-field options, but when Chi-Chi's off-field options are exerted and the CDs are ticking, this forces players to stay on field with their healers, and it's the main reason that healers such as Bennett, Diona, and Jean are top tier. It's because they all do more than one thing and they take up very little field time, as I mentioned before. Now, the contradiction I feel in Kokomi's kit is that while she is marketed as a healer, she also has aspects of her kit which promotes damage, on-field damage, such as from her burst skill, which increases her attack. My fear here is that Kokomi on-field may be suboptimal depending on what teams you are running. With current team options, it leaves little room for most healers to stay on field dealing damage without it hurting your overall damage output. Furthermore, even if we wanted Kokomi to be a support DPS and healer, will she be outperforming similar options such as Xingqiu? Now, Kokomi may be the opposite of Xingqiu, where she offers good support DPS capabilities, but definitely not as high as Xingqiu. But unlike Xingqiu, she offers more healing, because Xingqiu definitely offers healing capabilities, but it's very minimal. And for those people who are not able to work around the very little amount of healing that Xingqiu gives the team, Kokomi would be a better option, although you are switching Kokomi in and Xingqiu out for the sake of more healing less damage. This could be a possible solution for some more casual or semi-casual players. The upside to this is if Kokomi is powerful enough to fill the role of a support DPS while also offering top tier healing, we may have a new breed of units which frees up space for a double support DPS playstyle, which can be very interesting. What's not interesting is the Hydro Resonance though. Now with the introduction of Kokomi, it's going to get even harder to avoid teams with two Hydro characters. If you are a Tartaglia main, this may come as a suboptimal pairing, along with people who have Xingqiu on their team already or those running freeze teams. I do think Kokomi can work well in off-meta teams such as Overload or in Juggernaut teams. Now, of course, this does not mean that Kokomi cannot work in the teams mentioned prior. You can definitely put Kokomi into a freeze team. I do think that's actually going to be one of her better team options. However, with how great Xingqiu currently functions in a lot of freeze teams, it's going to be hard to imagine replacing him. For example, with someone like Ayaka, Xingqiu just seems to be the perfect pairing, and eventually there's also going to be Toma, who's coming out quickly in the next patch. It begs the question that how much of the spotlight will Kokomi even be able to have to herself. Finally, I want to once again stress the fact that the Hydro Resonance currently right now is arguably the worst resonance in the entire game, with how little most people actually are able to utilize it. Like I mentioned before, even free-to-play players have access to powerful 4-star characters whom are all top on the tier list, meaning that not only do they do their roles such as healing very well, they also offer far more than just healing. And currently right now, let me tell you guys, whether you're new players, veterans, or whatnot, you cannot convince anybody that excessive healing is necessary, right? Currently, we have to balance input and output. If you are having a character on field for an extended period of time, this character better be offering you some amazing yield in return, or else you are simply wasting that field time. It's safe to say that Kokomi will offer something new, but at this point, just how much of it is game-changing and how much of this is just negligible will be for the individual to decide. Offering new attack animations during her burst skill is definitely a visual marketing tactic, which is so gigabrain that it makes me wonder why it didn't come sooner. Now, as we approach the last few days before Kokomi is going to be released, I do urge you all to be patient with characters such as new healers. I mean, just looking at Qiqi right now, it feels weird that when the game just came out, Qiqi was regarded as one of the top tier units, and she quickly fell from grace as people started to realize how the game is meant to be played and how to better optimize damage output. And this shouldn't come as news to miHoYo. If they have been both playing their game or actually listening to player feedback, they would know a character such as Qiqi now fits in the meta in a very awkward way. She's underused in a lot of situations, and people have actively wanted to avoid her when summoning for characters. Fingers crossed that miHoYo will design Kokomi to be somewhat different and offers newer ways to play the game within the current scope of things. With all that said, I will still be summoning for Kokomi, and to test her out, making build and team videos for her. I do hope those looking to summon her ends up getting her without trouble, and those skipping her will get the characters they want on rerun banners. With all that said, that's going to be it from me. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck in your adventures. Until next time, stay safe and peace.